Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. I hope you guys like the new intro. Mikey made it up for me. He's my producer, by the way. And today I am chatting with the lovely Cindy Plaza. We are going to be talking about her journey away from her previous religious beliefs and some other stuff I'm sure we'll throw in there. Or as you know, as these conversations tend to always go, other things are always brought up anyways. So, Cindy, what I do here is I talk to people, as I just said, about their journeys away from their religious beliefs. So why don't you kind of take us back to when you were in those belief systems and the sort of domino effect that happened to make you fall away from that into becoming an atheist activist like you are today?
So I am different from most people you have on your channel because I grew up in France.
Mm-hmm.
And in France has been a secular country since 1905. So religion is pretty much, very much a private story in France. We still have some Catholic schools, we still have churches, of course, but my mother was a believer, but I don't really know if she had a specific denomination, mostly Catholic, but she had a Jehovah's Witness friend with whom she used to do some Bible study sometimes. From what I remember, it was just some friendly reading. It wasn't an attempt to convert her. Anyway, it didn't work. But my mother put me in a Catholic school in primary school, and I remember when I was around 9, we had some religious classes, but about an hour or two in the afternoon, and in the morning I remember we had a course about dinosaurs, and in the afternoon it was about Genesis, which is a very poor choice from the teacher. But so I saw a contradiction and raised my hand and said, but you told us this morning that the earth was very, very old, that we had dinosaurs, and now Adam and Eve. I was confused, and she asked me, do you believe in God? I said, yes. Well, that's it. And so that answer alone turned me into an atheist, because then I realized that it's just make-believe. You know, it's like Santa Claus. It's like behave and you will be rewarded, and don't and you will be punished. And that's the impression I had at this moment. And then I wasn't confronted to religion much until 10 years ago, where I was in the army at the time, in the French army, and I was stationed in the NATO headquarters here in Mons. Yeah. And I met an American who was very much rational like me, and we had long talks. And he still is a moderator on a forum called rationalskepticism.org, and he told me, well, we have plenty of rational people here, you should come over. And I did, and that was a really pivotal moment in my life, because so far I felt very much lonely, because when you are a rational people, even though you haven't learned anything about critical thinking or anything else, you tend to be attracted to a certain type of discussions. And the rest of the people are not interested in those discussions. So I felt alone for a very, very long time because of this. And then I met this forum where a lot of people were just like me. Of course, they were all over the world, which didn't allow for head-on meetings. But I learned pretty much everything I know today about science, about critical thinking, about everything. And now I'm in the process of teaching critical thinking. If it works well, I built up a course should last about 2 days, and we have a company here in Belgium that teaches that helps people learn about soft skills and hard skills. And my goal is to propose my course to them, and we'll see how it goes.
Wow. What prompted you to want to teach a course like this?
Because as I was learning about the world around me, because as I said, in France, religion is pretty much inexistent. And I realized that, first of all, I realized how dangerous religion is, or religions are, to be more precise.
Yeah, they have potential for sure. Yeah.
Yes, and well, can be instead of are, but can be. But
yes, yeah.
The more you go deeper into the problems, the more you realize that it's the core problem is critical thinking. And it's the source of so many problems here on this planet. You have all the science deniers, all the conspiracies, all the religions, you have so many areas in which problems occur because people can't think critically because they didn't learn it. And that's one of the first message I give in my course, is that you don't need to be smart to be able to think critically. You can learn it from anyone. I did. I learned critical thinking, so anyone can learn it. The only difference between two people will be the will to use those skills, because that's what makes the difference between someone who really wants to seek the truth anywhere it is, or someone who is more comfortable with their own beliefs and don't want to challenge them too much. But the skills themselves, anyone can learn them.
Are you going to be teaching these kinds of things via your YouTube channel?
So I already started a series of videos. The last one will air on Friday, but it's more an overview of my course. The entire course itself, I still don't know how I'm going to do it online, because a friend of mine helped me finish it, and we haven't decided yet how we're going to use that online. We know that in Belgium, the process is already secure, but online we haven't decided whether we make a series of videos and put them on learning sites, or do we do a series of video on YouTube and help everyone who wants to watch them. We haven't made a decision yet on this.
Okay. I see. Okay. Hello, Randy. Randy says to say hello.
Yeah. Hi, Randy.
So if you do decide to do these videos, I would like to know when you get them going, and that way I can point people in the direction that are looking for something like that. And I often get questions from people because I've spoken to many people that have come away from their beliefs, regardless of what they were, religion or even pseudoscientific woo nonsense sort of thing. I was actually supposed to be speaking with my friend Jessica on Monday, which didn't happen because she forgot about the interview and scheduled a Thanksgiving dinner, because it was Thanksgiving here in Canada on Monday. And I said, that's no big deal. I kind of figured that might happen, so we rescheduled for another time. But she was an ex-guru in this sort of thing, the whole crystal healing and all that. And I have not had someone of that sort of caliber on the show before. So it should be interesting.
Might be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, we've rescheduled for in November, so she'll be on regardless. But anyways, let's get back to what we were talking about here. Being that France is a fairly secular country, a lot like Canada. Canada is pretty secular too. I mean, we have our religious pushback from multiple groups. Like there's Muslims who are here that are trying to get a little power, and then there's fundamentalists that are trying to get a little power. But usually they fall flat because the government here is just like, you know what, we've run things the way we have for long enough, and we don't want to change it. So they tend to sort of keep religion out of government here. So do you find that now where you're living in Belgium now?
Yes.
Do you find that it's a little less secular in Belgium, or do you think it's about the same?
So secularism is about the state and the laws that protect religious freedom. In France, there was this big law voted in 1905, and it's still applied. And at the government level, it would be very, very, very hard for a religion to push back this law, because it's so much enshrined in our thinking, in our legal system.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the religiosity of the population. In Belgium, I would say it's the other way around. The population is less religious, but they don't have this protection from religion enshrined in laws.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes, they have a king, and they have a list of authorized religions, a little bit like Germany, I think. Mm-hmm. But in France, for example, the state cannot put money on religious buildings, which was a problem when Notre Dame took fire. So there are the laws to prevent this from happening. I don't believe it's in Belgium. It's that much enshrined into the laws, but in the society, Belgium is much more progressive than France.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like how so?
France, it's weird because despite having this religious mindset, France is extremely conservative. We only had gay marriage voted in 2012. We still have no law allowing dying with dignity. There's a lot of pushback behind the surrogate mothers system. We don't have this. So yeah, France is extremely conservative, which is surprising, because when you live there, you have this idea of the century of the Lumière, Voltaire, Diderot, all those people, and we tend to have this vision of ourselves to be maybe better thinkers than other people, other countries, and I don't think it's true. I think, yes, we produced, if we can say that, some good philosophers at some time, but right now, no, I wouldn't say we're very good at this.
Well, do they have are there anti-abortion laws there too?
No. Abortion has been abortion has been secured since 1972, I think. So it's pretty much. But the thing is, when the former president Hollande decided to propose the gay marriage law, that woke up all the Catholics sleeping in our country, because before that they were not active whether on the political or social side, but that woke them up a lot. And since then, we are having some troubles with Catholics pushing back against abortion, against gay marriage, against any social advancement.
Wow. Okay. When you say conservative, I'm starting to think that conservative over there is a little different than the conservatives here in North America, because
yes,
they're all very much against everything we just talked about, right? So
yeah,
they want to have their theology in the government, and they want to they're pro-lifers. Well, I hate that term because they're not pro-life. They're pro not killing babies. Once the baby's born, then you're on your own, kid. They don't care about them after that.
Yeah.
It seems so. I'm assuming it's you guys have some form of like for single mothers, let's say, that do give birth, that because they couldn't not give birth or whatever the case is. Do they have support there as being like a single parent?
Yes, it's all taken care of by the Social Security.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So so people don't fall through the cracks, in other words.
No. There's been a few cases where a mother wanted to have, wanted is not really the right term here, but needed to have a late-term abortion. And no, that's in Belgium. In Belgium, late-term abortion is still impossible. They have to go to France. But in France, no, there's no problem. If you need or want to have an abortion, you can have one, and you don't pay for anything. We don't pay for anything except for very specific problems. But yeah, the Social Security in France is very, very generous, and that's a very good thing.
Yeah, I agree. Because sometimes, like here in Canada, our healthcare system is pretty good too. It's not quite like in England where you don't pay for anything. There's still certain small things that we have to pay for, but most of it's covered anyways. Like like I might have to pay. I'll get a prescription, let's say, that costs $130 or something like that. I end up paying $26 out of that because I'm covered for most of it, and then I can bring that to where I work and turn in that receipt, and they'll reimburse me that money as well. So we're pretty much covered. I think the only thing we really have to pay for now, I thought it was the other way around. I thought we didn't have to pay for ambulances here, but apparently we do. The ambulances are different than the medical system. So we have to pay for ambulance rides, but it's not very much. It's like $20 or some shit. So I guess it's gas money or something like that.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm discovering the Canadian medical system because I just started a process to have a child, and I have to go through the process with a surrogate mother, and Canada is the best place for this. In Belgium, it's kind of weird. It's not allowed, but it's not forbidden either in the law. So a few clinics offer this facility, this process. The problem is there is no guarantee that if the mother decides to keep the child, there's no recourse for the parent. So that's too much a big risk for me. So I decided to, thanks to Mindy, the sassy heathen, she advised me to go to Canada, and I started the process a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, excellent!
But it's very, very expensive.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that. That kind of thing is not going to be covered under our medical system.
No.
But, I mean, if there are any illnesses involved around all this, that's probably fine. They'll take care of that, of course. But the actual act of itself of doing the surrogacy is not something that's covered here. But you decided you wanted to be a parent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, in fact, I always wanted to be a parent, and that's the reason why I waited so long before the transition. It's because I knew it was going to be a sterilization, and I couldn't accept that. So for a very long time, I decided I will live like this, and no one will know. And it's only when I discovered that there were some possibilities with surrogate mothers, with IVF and all that stuff, that's only then when I decided to consider it and then go through it.
All right. Okay. Hang on, just let me check something here. No, I'm sort of looking for different banners that I have. Because my my producer Mikey decided that one of my phone alerts is the Mario coin. It goes bing when the phone goes off.
Yeah, I heard.
And people can hear it, right? Mm-hmm. So every time it goes off, people are supposed to drink. So I just do this, right? It's just coins. And then people are supposed to drink. It became a drinking game because my phone goes berserk every once in a while. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I'll have to do because he's usually here in the green room, running everything while I'm talking to people. But he's not here today because he has to work. So
okay,
I guess we all need to make money.
To answer inquisitive quandary, yes, I have a slight accent. Yeah, I'm not an English native speaker, and yeah, I had face surgeries recently, and I still haven't gotten back the sensations of the lower jaw. So yeah, sometimes I have trouble speaking properly, but yeah, I managed.
What did you have done?
So it's called a face feminization surgery. So they worked on the jaw to make it thinner. They worked here also on the bone to make it look smaller. The nose a little bit, the eyes to make them a little bit more stretched. And
gotcha.
So yeah, that was a lot of work.
It was a look you were after, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
Something you kind of wanted for yourself.
It's not that I wanted it; it's just that I needed it. I mean, you can go around as a woman if you look like a man. It's hard. So
yeah,
you have to do some things.
I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I don't know because I'm not in that sort of a position myself, right? I'm your standard typical cis white guy, right? So I come from pretty much, and I'm well aware of it. I come from a position of what do you call
privilege?
Not favored. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. I was going to say favoritism, but that's not exactly what it was. But yeah, it is, and I've lived it my whole life, so I don't know what it's like to be in a group that would be considered marginal. Have you had any issues with that whole thing from any sort of religious pushback on that sort of a thing?
Since I started my channel, I've had some trolls, and almost all of them were religious. What's his name? Darth Dawkins. He went pretty hard on me. Yeah.
Sorry you have to put up with that guy. I banned him from my shit. The guy's a clown.
Yeah. But the only place in my life where I face religious people is online, on Facebook or YouTube on my channel. So it doesn't impact me that much, to be honest. What I've been through here in my real life, yeah, that was it's been a very, very hard couple of years, but this thing online, for now I still manage to push back against it, and it doesn't affect me much.
Very good, because I'll never understand how humans just can't be like, oh yeah, okay, well that's cool, like it doesn't matter. Like we're all here sharing this bloody planet. Why can't we all just see us for who we are instead of who we think people should be? You know what I mean? Like I don't get it. I don't get the mindset. But of course, I was raised as a Jew, but not super religious. We went to synagogue, and I'm pretty sure that it was for more the social aspect than any of the religious stuff, because my parents never really talked about it outside of that. And everyone, they want to see who had the latest fashions, and it was crazy shit back then, right? So, and of course, us kids are all running around drinking the wine with nobody noticing and getting shit-faced all the time. And when your parents have to bring home a bunch of preteen drunk kids, it's pretty funny. Yeah. Not much has changed, though. I still keep drinking.
Yeah, speaking about privilege, I see myself as privileged on the religious side, because I didn't grow up in a very fundamentalist religious family, or even country, because that takes its toll also, not just the family but the country. So yeah, I'm privileged on this side. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. So I mean, yeah, we I think both of us come from countries that have a very privileged lifestyle. We'll say, right? So, not having to deal with any religious stuff. Did you have family members outside of your immediate family that were quite religious that may have possibly tried to get you to be more interested in a belief like that? Or even friends?
I can't think of anyone I know back in France who was religious, except when I was in the army. French officers tend to be extremely conservative, and many of them are religious too. Yeah. So normally they're supposed to keep this for themselves, but sometimes you get into an officer's desk and you see religious icons, and it's it's really weird. But there is really not proselytism on this part, and it's only been discussions and nothing more. I've never felt like someone was trying to convert me to a specific religion. Even the Muslim people I met, I've been lucky again. That never happened to me.
Oh, there were there's a lot of Muslim people in the military as well.
No, where I grew up in the south of France, there are quite a few. Because France has a trouble story with Algeria, and so there are quite some people from Algeria, well, northern Africa mostly.
Yep. But that's a long history of that.
Yes, and we also have a racist side in our country, because it's not like in the US, because I don't know, when I see Trump supporters or even just Republicans, I don't see what I see in France. In France, at least people try to hide it. this racism, they try to hide it. They try to give excuses. They try to say, yeah, but criminality, etc., etc. But
so they use stereotypical shit as sort of a weapon, is what you're saying.
Yes, but the open racism in France, it's not as rampant as in the US. So I mean, there are still discriminations at work, I'm pretty sure, and in the society, but it's much less than in the US.
Okay, well, that's good, I guess. See, you don't have the guys riding around and
it's not as bad, yeah.
Right. Okay, it's better than the blatant racism that seems to be going around. At least you guys don't have, a bunch of pickup trucks with dudes in the back waving their rebel flags, shooting off their AR-15s, going white power, stuff like that, right? So you don't have to deal with that, which is good. And I don't either. We don't really have much of that in Canada. Although we do have, this is weird to me, we do have in areas where there tend to be more, for lack of a better term, rednecky type people, like especially in Alberta, you see people with rebel flags. And I'm like, dude, this is Canada. What are you doing with a rebel flag? Like, what are you even doing? Or did you like the Dukes of Hazzard show or something? I never understood that. Why are they running around with rebel flags here in Canada? I'll never get, but I have seen them from time to time. Luckily, there's not very many of them, so we don't have to put up with that sort of thing. Although, I got to say, growing up in the area, there have been a couple of instances, like the synagogue that I used to go to when I was a kid, one day got hit by a bunch of vandals that were spray painting swastikas all over the building. Jews go home kind of thing. It's like, what do you mean go home? This is our home, idiot. But it happens from time to time, but it's really not as bad as I've seen in a lot of places south of the border. And I feel bad for a lot of my friends that live down there because they have to deal with that shit, right? And luckily, we don't really have to. The most we have to deal with here is some religious group trying to get some sort of law put into place and usually get shot down. You ever have to deal with something like that? Like any fringe groups trying to instill laws or talk the government into something like a law that they feel should be there?
I don't recall anything like that because we don't have religious party in France. We neither Christian or Catholic or Muslim. Because religion in France is not something that brings people together. It's not the center of communities like it's in some parts of Canada and in the US.
Yep.
There's a very small one, but I don't think they got anyone elected in the last 25 years. So there's no risk on that regard. But I feel like these last 5-10 years, the rise in right-wing movements has pushed people to the right and to being more racist, more open bigots. Yeah, well, it's everywhere in Europe. I mean, Brexit has been caused by this. In Netherlands, even in Germany, they have Nazis in the parliament again. In Italy, in Spain, in Spain not so much, but in Poland is taking a bad route right now. So we've had a rise in right-wing propaganda, and that's, I think it's pretty much like what happened in 2016 in the US. It's that when Trump rose to power, when he was elected, it didn't make people racist. It just allowed them to speak up more. And I think that's what we see also in Europe.
Yeah, I would agree. It's I forgot. I just got to do that one again. There you go, guys. Coins. I might slack a little bit here, guys, because I'm in the middle of a conversation. Usually it's Mikey here doing this. So, I agree. I mean, racism is always there. It's going to be there, I think, probably for our history, because there's going to be, it's all about tribalism and in groups, out groups, and, that kind of thing, right? So thank you, Derek. Derek has been kind enough for a super chat. And I finally actually, and I'm glad you're enjoying the show, Derek. I like hearing stuff like that. But I finally was able to settle with Google all the banking stuff. So I'm actually got my money that they owed me. They sent me like $405 or something and put it in my bank account. And I was like, woohoo, that's perfect. Now I can get that oil change I wanted. It's great. And now these things will actually go through. And I will see it every month, which is fantastic. So it's a big help to have the little extra cash being put towards the show, right? I've got this show, and I'll have another show coming up with Randolph Richardson, which is a call-in show like some of the other ones that you're probably familiar with. And and then I'm going to be, apparently, it hasn't been 100% confirmed yet, but I'm going to be one of the regular co-hosts of one of the ACA shows called The Nonprofits. So that should be a lot of fun.
That's cool. Yeah.
They asked me if I wanted to. Johnny Angel asked me if I wanted to. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. I used to love that show. As long as I get to be on there when Don's on there, because I like, he's great, fantastic artist, and he's such a good speaker. He's got a unique voice too. So I think all of our commanding voices will have, should make the show interesting. Man, you know what? I had a slice of pizza when I got home because I was holding off my hunger until dinner, my buddy's birthday tonight. And there was extra sauce on it. My roommate ordered it. And now I'm dealing with a little bit of heartburn. So, and I'm all out of Tums, damn it. The beer's not helping. So what do? Drink more. That's smart. Anyway, so did you ever like go to church? Did your folks ever go to church, or did you guys just sort of not do that?
Not with my parents. My mother went to what's it called, summer camp, always in the same place, and she used to go there when she was a kid, and I went there when I was a kid too, and it was owned. The summer camp was owned by a priest, I think, originally, and he wanted to make it so that children without money, children who never go to vacations, can, and so that's why he created this one. So
that's cool.
I remember, that it is. It was very nice, and. When I was a kid, there was around 300 kids every month on July and August. It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big camp.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, we the eldest ones, it was from 6 to 15 years old. And the eldest ones, they used to sleep in a tent because there weren't enough buildings to accommodate them. So yeah, it's okay. I have some good memories there, and I remember in the first years I went there. There was a mass maybe for the 15th of August, I think. I'm not entirely sure. So I went a couple times there. With the summer camp, but with my family, no, never.
Okay. Being at the summer camp as a camper, did you ever want to go back and be a counselor?
I did. Actually, after I couldn't go back as a camper, I worked there for 5 years.
Wow.
3 years I just was cleaning the toilets and dishwasher and all that. And the other 2 years I love being around kids, so that was
I'm a big fan.
It was amazing to me.
And I'm pretty lucky. All of my siblings have had kids, so there's nieces and nephews all over the place. So I always love hanging out with them and hanging out with the kids and playing video games with some of them. And when some of them were really small, we'd have little wind-up cars and we'd chase my mom around the house with them and stuff like that. It was fun, a lot of fun. But I never had any myself that, well, at least none that I know of, anyways. But as I was a bit of a player as a kid, but in my youth, we'll say, and that was a while back. But I was a day camp counselor. Like in the summer times, I'd work at one of the local Jewish community centers, and they had so I did that for a bunch of years. And I also went to summer camp too. As a matter of fact, the place I work for now was originally owned by my very first camp counselor, and that's why he hired me. He said, "Oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah, you can come work." And it was great because he paid you like $20 an hour to start, which was unheard of at the time. So, and now I make a lot more than that. But anyways, they put me through the schooling to be able to do the chemistry stuff that I do at work, and they pay me well for it, so I can't complain. But I loved camp, and every time I was able to go, for every year that I could go, I went every year, and I wanted to go back and do the summer camp as a counselor, but unfortunately, things at home kind of changed. I ended up living in Israel for 2 years for grade 11 and 12, so all of that kind of fell through. But which was really interesting living over there. It's such a different culture than you're used to here in North America, for sure. But it was still cool. I'll never forget my first year there. We decided to do a little camp out on the beach outside of Tel Aviv. And we were woken up at like 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. Sun just cracks the skyline there. It's coming up, and all of a sudden there's helicopters and planes going all over the place, and then Jeeps rolling right up on us, yelling at us in Hebrew. And they're like, you guys can't camp here. You're not supposed to be here, blah, blah, blah. So we got chased off. And then they gave us shit because we didn't have any firewood. And we chopped down this, what seemed to be like an old sign, because I couldn't read Hebrew at the time. I can now, but the sign said no camping and no fires on the beach. And we chopped it up and made firewood out of it. So we got fined for that, which the school ended up having to pay for. But yeah. I mean, it's just different. I guess the reasoning behind it, as at least the soldier guy told me, is because there is a possibility of terrorists coming up the beach, right, and trying to throw bombs into Israel, right? So it's because they've been dealing with that kind of shit for a long time, and of course, they haven't exactly been fucking angels themselves. Some of the shit that they do to the Palestinians, which I'll never be cool with, but that's the way it's been there for 5,000 years plus, I think. Yeah, everyone claiming that piece of land for some stupid religious reason. Yep, that's one of the things that I can't stand about it. So now that you're wanting yourself to become a parent and you're going to do the surrogacy here in Canada, does that mean you're going to be over here?
Well, at least once, yeah.
I guess you'd have to be, yeah. Whereabouts are you going to be doing this?
I think it's just give me a second. I will answer.
Vancouver?
No, I don't think so.
Damn it! I was going to say we should go have a beer, but oh well, you're not going to be here.
I think it will be Toronto.
Oh, the center of the universe, as we call that here in Canada. At least that's what they think of themselves as. In Canada, Toronto is the center of the universe, people. Yeah.
What?
They have the biggest population. I'll give them that. Right?
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Oh.
But that's where the Toronto Maple Leafs live. And I hate that hockey team, but that's just me. You like hockey? You ever watch hockey?
No, hockey is just I don't even know if we have if France has a national hockey team.
Yeah, sure. They're in the Olympics. We kick their ass every time, but yeah, they're still in the Olympics. But let's face it. It's usually between Sweden, the U.S., Russia, and Canada. Those are the big four teams that usually tend to be winning all of the world championships and stuff like that. I think they're the four countries that put the most into building these teams anyways. The other guys are just kind of like sideliners. You got the Czech team, you've got the German team. And I dare anyone to name a German player in the NHL right now.
No, in France we're more into football and handball.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball too, but yeah. Yeah,
football's huge over there. Oh, something I did want to talk about. I watched it the other day. I was watching you guys live. Well, was it live? I can't remember if it was live. But you and Jenna and the Women of Atheism, which actually, guys, you guys had such a fantastic conversation. I really appreciated what you guys did on that. And I have a link to that below in the description box where you can see Cindy doing her magic in this conversation with Jenna and Sassy's in there. And there's Godless Grannies in it. A lot of great voices in there, all talking about feminism, rights, and all kinds of things like that. And it's a very, very good conversation. So I highly recommend you guys go and check that out, which is why I stuck it in the description box. Yeah. And I've noticed you've been in quite a few other little interviews sort of things on YouTube.
It's only with Ethan Michael.
Yeah.
In fact, he's the reason why I started doing videos in the first place.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. It's quite a funny story. In fact, he called Talk Heathen about a year and a half ago. He was trying to find some help for a transgender friend of his, and he called Talk Heathen for that. And right after I called him and told him, look, maybe I can help. And that's how we met. And because of that, he invited me to some of his roundtables, and it's been a pleasure every time.
Yeah, Ethan's good people. I've had him on the show as well, and I've been on his too. So
yeah, he's very nice.
Have you been on another great bunch of guys, the Atheist Roundtable? Have you?
Not yet. I'd like to, but yeah.
I'll put a bug in Oz's ear for you.
Thanks.
Because they're good people, and they'd love to have you, I'm sure, and discuss all kinds of things with you on their show. They have the one where they do the 5 questions, the where, what, how, why, when sort of questions. And those are fun conversations. Yeah, so they're good guys. Okay, all right. So Vesta, who doesn't count because you're Canadian. You're not allowed to play. You're Canadian. Yeah, Tobias Reeder. Yeah, is a German player, and we had Uwe Krupp. We've had all kinds of German players in the league before. But anyways, enough about hockey. I mean, if we're going to start talking hockey, I might have to put my jersey on. So it's not cold enough yet, which is blowing me away because right now I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada. And yes, we are the West Coast, and we are also known as Hollywood North because we do all the the Flash and Arrow and all those shows are all filmed up here.
Stargate also at some point.
Stargate, all of them were filmed here. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, yes, they all, even Universe was done here. I think parts of it were here and parts of it were down south. But Seattle Kraken, yes, which is the new team coming in next year. Oh no, this year. I think this year. Anyway, what a stupid name. I didn't like it. Anyway, other than that, it's middle October here, and I'm used to middle October being cold here in BC. Not like cold, like snow kind of cold, but you do Celsius over there, so it's usually between 9 and 14 degrees Celsius here around this time of year. Mm-hmm. And we're getting temperatures here that are above that, which is unusual for this time of year. I'm out there in a frickin' t-shirt and a pair of shorts sometimes and I've never done that in October in BC. Never. And it's all that fucking these idiots that are deniers of global warming and climate change. I shouldn't say global warming because that's part of climate change.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was thinking about that yesterday. You remember this American senator who went to the Senate with a snowball? Mm-hmm. Remember that?
Yes.
So I was wondering where are they now with the fires in California, the temperatures? What are they going to show up in the Senate? What bushes burnt or I don't know. It's stupid.
Actually, Dave, or Simply Secular, lives in my area, and right now it's 23.8 degrees in his apartment. So, and he lives in the sun, so that probably helps raise that up a bit. But outside, I think it's probably, well, it was earlier today. It was like 17 degrees or something, as I saw at work, and that's like at least a couple of degrees above what we consider a higher average here for this time.
And it's about 6 or 7 degrees higher than what I had today.
Really? You're around 10 degrees down there?
Yeah. I had football practice tonight, and well, I'm what 7-8 hours later than you are.
I think so. You were saying 9 the other day. I think.
Yeah, 9. Yeah, 9. And it was pretty cold tonight.
So it's literally 2 a.m. for you right now.
Yeah.
Wow. But you told me you're taking tomorrow off work, so you
yes
you get to sleep in a little bit. That's too bad that I couldn't do the after party because my buddy had to have a birthday. Fucking bastard. But because
in the middle of the week.
Yeah. He's like, I don't. Well, years ago he told me I celebrate my birthday on my birthday. So he always takes, and I took. My birthday's coming up next week, on the 20th. So I've already booked all days around my birthday off, as I do every year if it happens to fall during the week. Even if it doesn't, I'll take the Thursday, Friday off if it's on a Saturday or something, so I can party it up with friends for a few days. And although, I'm finding that the older I get, the less partying I actually do, or at least I don't stay up as late as I used to, because I was a night owl. I grew up doing graveyard shifts and working afternoons or nights, and then partying afternoon, going all night till I'd drive home in my mom's car that she didn't know I borrowed at like 5 o'clock in the morning to give her an hour before she had to go to work, so the car would cool down and she wouldn't touch the hood and go, "He took my car last night." I was pretty smart when I was stealing my mom's car.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's funny. The car that she had was a what they call a Chevy Chevette, right? Not a Corvette, a Chevette. But I used to go around telling people, "Yeah, I drive a Vette," and they're thinking, "Oh, really? And you got a Corvette?" And I go, "Well, no, it's a Chevette," which is a little hatchback thing, right? It's not a sports car, right? So, but I always thought it was funny saying that. But yeah. Well, you know what? I think we covered pretty much everything. Is there anything that you think that people would want to know? Like, do a little shilling of your channel and stuff like that.
So right now I'm only present on YouTube with my channel, The Path to Reason, where so far I've been making videos mostly in English. I'm trying to balance and create more content in French too. But my goal is to address some very specific problems through the lens of critical thinking. I'm also maybe going to expand a little bit because recently I've been watching some debates, and I realized that when you have two good debaters, one Christian and one not, we tend to say that the only difference between the two of them is critical thinking. But the more I see debates, the more I realize that there's another major component missing here. It's the understanding of human thinking and human psyche, because you see people don't get that feelings are not chosen. For example, my first video was about the definition of atheism, and I made an argument about belief is a feeling, and feelings are not chosen, so belief is not chosen. And I got some perplexed answers from Christians. They don't understand that, and the more I see debates, the more I realize that we also need, in addition to critical thinking, we also need to explain at least the basics of the human psyche. I already put that in my course, because I think that's important to understand if you want to grasp all the tools of critical thinking. But I think I'm going to expand on this in the near future, because I realize that's a big piece missing in people's thinking, not just Christian or religious people thinking, but
it could be in atheists too, because we as we know, there are atheists that have some pretty screwy beliefs outside. All atheism is a non-belief in deities. That's it. That's all it is. It's all it covers. It's all it's there for as a descriptor word. That's, I don't believe in God. They don't believe in God. She doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in God. They don't believe in these are just people that don't believe in God. That's all it is. The only common ground we have too, really. I mean, we can obviously, when we talk to people, we can find other common grounds like musical tastes or tastes in entertainment, food, whatever, social type of activities. We'll find other commonalities. But that's our baseline, is the fact that we're all atheists and we get together and talk about these sorts of things and the influences that religion has or attempts to have in people's lives, which I think is an important topic. And I'm with you 100%, man. Critical thinking is important. And I'm really glad that you're doing that. And I'm really glad that you have a course. And I'm looking forward, once you decide to figure out a way to get it onto a YouTube format and teach it on YouTube, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of those. So like I was saying earlier, let me know when that happens, and I'll share the shit out of that, because it's an important thing. And speaking of sharing, guys, I do have links for Cindy below. You can follow her on Twitter and on Facebook. Excuse me. And now, see, fuck, heartburn. It also makes me belch a lot. But anyway, I'm a pig. What can I say? YouTube would be another great format to do that as well. So you can also find her YouTube channel link below, and that video I was mentioning, the big conversation with all the wonderful women of atheism. Cindy, I want to thank you very much for being here with me today. It's
me too. I'd like to thank you for inviting me. That was very nice.
Well, and you saved my bacon, so to speak. I was actually, one of the reasons I decided to go to the dinner was because I didn't have somebody scheduled. Because this was the one day that nobody seemed to want in October. And then when I brought it up to you, you're like, yeah, I'm on it. And I'm like, cool, at least I could do the show. Unfortunately, there won't be an after party tonight, guys. I apologize. But it's a friend of mine's 55th birthday, so I have to go over there, have a couple of beers and make fun of him for being older than me. So that's just a prerequisite to any birthday party I go to. If they're older than me, I make fun of them. It's just the way it is. That's why I don't have any friends, people.
Oh, you do. You do.
I know I do. And I'll tell you what, like, if once it's going again, for sure, they've already rebooked it for next year. The Faithless Forum is what I'm talking about. I think if you have an opportunity, you should come out and hang out at the Faithless Forum out in Austin, Texas. Once, of course, travel bans are lifted, etc. Because I think it would be great to hang out with you and go and have some beers with all the folks down there, like V and Jenna and Eric and everybody. Because I went last year to the last one, and it was fantastic. Best fucking week of my life down there in Texas. Well, vacation life.
Yeah. My goal is to when I go to Canada, I wanted to visit all the people in Chicago, because Ethan is from there, and many people I met on this channel are there too. And I wanted to go to Austin too, once at least.
Yeah, it's like Mecca for atheists now.
Exactly.
Except we don't have to walk around a big fucking Lego brick or whatever the fuck that thing is that they walk around.
And there's no rules.
Yeah, that's right. 55 is way old. Shut up, nerdy. I'm 53. I'm almost there. Actually, I'll be 54.
Thanks, Paul, for your message.
Looks like a nice channel, Cindy. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I actually, it's weird because I knew you had a channel, then I forgot that you had a channel, so I had to ask you just to make sure that I was right about knowing you had a channel, which that's why I added it after the fact, right? So, because I couldn't remember what it was called. Because I just looked up your name and like nothing was coming up. There's like 15 Cindy Plazas with channels. I'm like, none of them look like the Cindy I know. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But we figured it out and we got it in there. And I highly recommend you go and sub to Cindy, because you can look forward to some really cool content coming up, especially if you're going down the road of critical thinking. I think that's brilliant.
So I don't have a Patreon yet. There's been a lot of discussion around that, but if I do get one, I will put it on the channel too.
Yeah, 55 is young. No, get off my lawn. That's the best. But yeah, it took me a while to get one going because I didn't want to do it until I had passed 1,000 subscribers. I figured once you're past that sort of a number, it might be a little bit more worthwhile to do. And it was. I mean, now I think I'm on 20 patrons now, which isn't too bad for someone that's only had it going for about 8 months, or 6 months or whatever. So that's not too bad. Always looking for more, guys. And don't forget, you can do super chats now, because Google will actually pay me, which is great. They already released all the money that they owed me. And so that filled my bank account back up. Well, higher than it was, we'll put it that way. So woohoo! Which allowed me to order pizza last night, which is I had the last piece when I got home, and now I have heartburn. Anyway, I'm going to go eat some nice bland food over at the pub. That should take care of it.
Nice cake.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any cake. He's 55. He goes, I don't like cake. He's not a big sweets guy. But I know someone, because he loves ice cream, pretty much the sweet. So I know someone is going to bring one of the dairy ice cream cakes, and they'll probably surprise him with it. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that's what Lisa will do. I'm pretty sure. And that's his girlfriend. So anyway, Cindy, once again, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for reminding me.
My pleasure. And I hope, since we couldn't do an after party tonight, I would recommend on a weekend, like I do Saturdays as well. Of course, it'll be even a little bit later, but you're always welcome to jump in to an after party.
Okay.
When that happens. All right. You're always welcome in there anytime. If you see us live, just go, hey, dickhead, send me a link. And then I'll let you right in there.
Okay, I will.
Okay. Well, thanks, Paul. $4 super sticker.
Thanks.
Awesome. I don't even know what on StreamYard, I can't see what the stickers actually are, so I'll have to go onto YouTube and check it out. But could you describe it for me, Paul? No, I'm just kidding. But thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in and hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. There will be more coming up. I got lots more coming up. I opened up November, so we're starting to book up November now. Jessica, who was supposed to be on Monday, will now be going in on, I think, when did I schedule? For like the 18th or something? Something like that. No, November 21st will be Jessica Schaub. And she's the old pseudoscience guru lady that used to be into all that. But coming up soon, I've got Ben G from the Atheist Roundtable. I got Mona Lisa. I like that, Mona Lisa. And then, of course, next Wednesday is my blood donation day, so I will not be around for that one. Dow Jeans of Mayberry will be coming up on the 24th. Christian Armstrong will be coming up on the 26th. Vice Rhino on the 28th. And Brainbug will be closing out October on Halloween night. And we're going to bring out all kinds of creepy bugs for Halloween, like big spiders and stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. And that'll be the 31st, obviously, because that's when Halloween is. And I think both Brian and I are going to do it in costume. So you might actually see us in costume on that one. And that's a Saturday, Cindy. So if you're around and you haven't eaten too much candy from Halloween, you're welcome to join us. All right, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Have a good night. Good evening. Good night.
And like I always say at the end of these shows, with the whole pandemic thing going on right now, be well and be safe. And above all, be kind. And thanks to all my wonderful patrons. You guys are what helps this show keep going and improving. And you'll see in a second what I mean about improving. Although it really didn't cost anything to do this. Just took some of my producer's time, which I pay for. So yeah, okay, I guess it did cost a little bit of money. But anyways, I have a new intro and a new outro. And if you're wondering what the music is that I use in the intro and outro, it's one of my songs called Tangled. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll send you a link to the SoundCloud and you can hear the entire song. And until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of these shows, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.